paying way too much. So Cancers, we've got the Six of Pentacles. That is paying so much that you're actually left maybe with an empty wallet. With the Seven of Wands reversed, it's like less than really what we bargained for, what we wanted to have in our wallet. And then the Three of Wands here is just a lot of expenses. It's like the Three of Wands is like almost like external things. If you look at this guy, he's like looking at this horizon, right? Everything in that horizon is an expense. That little boat, that mountain, every single wand, it's a card for extra stuff or extraneous things is the Three of Wands. So it's like you guys just have a lot of expenses and you've been kind of shelling out a lot of money recently. So let's pull oracle cards and see what else we get about this. Why? Maybe it was a recent event or trip or something you guys did, or maybe this is just other people. Let's see if we get a little bit more specifics on these expenses, and then we're going to pull advice on what you guys should do about it. Cancer. Okay, so Mars and the road here is movement. It's moving your body where? Down the road to a place. On the bottom we have the ship. So that's a distance. So you've been spending a lot of money on travel, on movement, whether that's moving other people places, moving yourself places, and then let's see what else is underneath here. Yeah, it's stuff you know that you had to do. You couldn't avoid these expenses because you had to use money in order to move yourself, in order to move the pieces on the board, people wherever they needed to be. You just had to shell out the money for this. And maybe for some of you, this just means a lot of Uber rides. For some of you, maybe this means plane trips. The scale is going to be different for each of you depending on how much money you normally have or how much traveling you normally do, right? So that part of it will be individual. Looking at the next couple cards, we've got the Cup, the Volcano, and then the Rope here. It's again, things that you know you had to do. There's no regrets, right? You didn't like the fact that you had to shell out his money, but there's no regrets in doing so because you know you had to, because there's things you had to get done. And that's just because there were like, how do I put this? It was things of high priority, like family. With the Cup here, it's like people you cared about, you needed to either move to them, they needed to move to you, and things, maybe there was a reunion involved because we've got the Rope and we have the Volcano here. With the Cup, this does feel like a reunion. This feels like getting people together for a purpose, and maybe that did involve a lot of money. Advice for Cancer? Advice for Cancer? Okay, so it's pretty obvious advice now, guys. We've got the Chariot, but with strength. So the Chariot normally is your car. It's movement, again. But with strength here, it's like, kind of like saying don't. Strength card is all about withholding. So withhold on any trips at the moment, withhold on Uber rides at the moment, right? You kind of have just spent a lot of money on that exact very same thing. Because on the bottom, Ten of Swords. There is a chance to, how do I put this, go bankrupt at the moment if you don't kind of like pull back a little bit on your expenses, pull back on, especially if they have to do with movement or travel. You got to pull back on those expenses. That's the advice here that we're getting from the tarot cards, because there will come a time where you just run out of money, or when things come to a head. You've got Ten of Swords and the Judgment card, and it is with regards to finances. Knight of Pentacles underneath that. Let's see what we get from the Oracle cards for advice. Advice for Cancer signs. Oof. All right, well, you guys, there's no way around it. You guys are gonna have to save up some money in order to go on your next trip. You got the number 8. That's very much like building enough to have like a what do you call that? Not a nest egg. Is that a nest egg? The number 8 is just having enough for a rainy day. If something goes wrong, the number 8 is preservation. Okay, so with the number 9 here, yeah, it's like save up in order to go on your next trip, because the number 9 is movement, going farther than you normally do. With the City, the number 5, and the King here, you might have actually gone into debt for this. You might be in debt as a result of all your expenses. Maybe put it on your credit card, right? Because with the City and the number 5, I feel like that's almost like creditors. That is some sort of an institution that's nagging you, that is causing conflict or problems. And since we're talking about your finances, then we're talking about maybe those creditors, those debtors, maybe those bills that now you have to pay, that are attached to the recent expenses you've had to endure, basically. On the bottom, we have the Cave. So you guys are in the hole. There's no way, there's no if and uts about. I'm actually going to pull a card on just the King here. I'm curious as to what the King means. Tell me about the King specifically, please. I'm a card on the King. Oh, the King. Responsibilities. So these are just your responsibilities. The King is the things that you kind of like said you would do, and these are the people, the city attached to the promises you made, which is almost like, let me say, for example, like work, career, right? You promised you'd probably go to work, or when maybe you're back from vacation. Well, you made a promise. That's what this is saying. And you have to fulfill that promise. There are responsibilities that you have to see to. And again, that is tied to maintaining your finances in order to save up, in order to have a chance to do another one of these trips, or have more ability to move around, because that is what we're talking about with the 9. Okay, and enjoy life, because on the bottom we have the 6. So in order save up money so that you have a little bit of a cushion, so that you can then go ahead and start to plan some other things. But that is the advice from the cards, guys. Nothing earth-shattering, it seems. Just some really basic, practical financial advice there. But you know, I guess every week we can't have crazy things happening every week. So there you go. Cancer signs, thank you guys for being here. If this resonated and you want to see more videos, don't forget to follow the channel.